Hello everybody, and welcome back to the new VR news. As always, I am Mateo311, and this is your one channel for everything VR related. So today, we're going to be discussing the Oculus Quest 3, some exciting new releases on the way like Into the Darkness and Hyperdash, and we also have a large list of new updates. So let's not waste any more time guys and jump right into this. Starting with some game updates. The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners has a new update coming to the Oculus Quest platform, which will be available on February 4th. The trial will introduce a new wave-based gameplay mode. You'll earn points by defeating enemies, which you could then use to craft new weapons. This drastically alters the relatively slow pace of the base game, shifting the focus onto one of its best attributes, namely that visceral combat. The trial was previously released for PC VR as part of the Meat Grinder update, and it's nice to see it's finally making its way down to the Quest version. Now another game that received some welcome updates was Star Shaman. This music-pumping, galaxy-jumping wave shooter has received some updates based on player feedback. They've implemented a new save system, and the overall difficulty has been scaled back, but a classic mode remains for those who preferred the challenge. You're getting a new ricochet-based offensive spell. There's now 11 in-game achievements, and those already beautiful graphics have received an overhaul. So right now might be the time to jump back into this game or pick it up if you've never tried it before. Speaking of never tried it, you have to check out War Mode, which is part of yet another event from Population 1. War Mode puts you in a 9 vs 9 battle, vastly changing the pace and strategy of your typical Population 1 match. The Darkest Days event also features a new night version of the standard map, which randomly cycles between day and night on each match. And there's of course some new gun skins to collect. So if you happen to stop playing this addictive game, well, now you have another reason to jump back in. Speaking of reasons to jump back in, Echo VR is getting a Season Pass. The Season Pass gives players the potential to receive up to triple the amount of rewards they would normally get. For either $10 US or 1,000 in-game points, you can unlock this Season Pass tier, giving you access to a large array of new Season Pass rewards. These in-game purchases will definitely help to fund this free-to-play title into the future. If you're not familiar with Echo VR, I like to describe it as Rocket League meets rugby while you're in space. But like I said, it's free, so definitely check it out. Okay guys, so I have one more update to go over, but this one's not official. It's a Skyrim mod, which actually brings features that Bethesda should have implemented themselves. The HIGG Mod by Flying Particle is available on Nexus Mods, and it gives us hand interaction and gravity gloves. Now that sounds pretty simple, but it's actually a major overhaul. This adds hand-based collision to almost all objects. As expected, this really ups the overall immersion. You could also now pull objects to you Half-Life Alyx style, and even store items in your backpack by placing them over your shoulder. This is the level of immersion we deserve from a VR game, and if you are a fan of Skyrim VR, this should be on your mandatory mod list. Okay, so let's move on and start discussing new games, starting with my favorite arena shooter, Hyperdash. Hyperdash has been available in an open alpha for quite some time, and now we have an official release window, which is actually less than a month away. If you check the official Oculus store, you'll see the game listed as coming soon in February of 2021. Now I've seen both the dates February 25th and February 28th pop up online, and one of those will most likely be accurate, but either way, the game is only 4 weeks away from launch. Now this title features both cross-buy and cross-play. Oculus owners will get a copy for both the Rift and Quest platforms, but it will also be available on Steam, and everyone gets to play against each other as one big happy family. Now if you were a fan of Solaris Off-World Combat, but were frustrated by the lack of players and gameplay modes, well this is going to be the game for you. Hyperdash is currently poised to be the best VR arena shooter. Now if shooters weren't your style, we have an announcement trailer for I Expect You to Die 2. The sequel to one of the best, dare I say classic VR titles, will be releasing sometime later this year. It's a hilariously clever escape room where death is around every corner, switch, button, you name it, you're gonna die soon. Now the trailer doesn't show us much, but we can expect the same clever humor and gameplay. Now if you are looking for a more in-depth look into something, Wraith, the Oblivion Afterlife continues to give us more development footage. This time we're getting a little sneak peek at The Shadow, just one of the creepy entities you'll encounter in this game. This horror title is still scheduled for a spring 2021 release, so it won't be too long until you get to meet The Shadow in VR. Okay guys, so the last announcement trailer looks absolutely amazing, and that's for a title called Into the Darkness. Into the Darkness is a single-player PC VR title releasing later this year. Now, one of the things that makes Into the Darkness look so amazing is a level of physical interaction that we've only really seen before in the title Boneworks. Now, if you didn't know, physics can be fun, especially in VR. This game also features an interesting storyline set in a dystopian future where humanity is trying to upload its consciousness into robotic vessels. So it already sounds like it'll beat Boneworks in the storyline department. Let's just hope the gameplay and combat can match it. Okay guys, it's time to move on and start discussing the Oculus Quest 3. Now there's a lot to break into here. A good portion of it will be speculation, but let's just start with the facts. Now it should come as no shock that Facebook is working on a successor to the Oculus Quest 2. What did come as a surprise though was hearing it directly from Zuckerberg and so quickly after the launch of the Oculus Quest 2. Now, during Facebook's fourth quarter 2020 earnings call, Mark Zuckerberg let us know that the Oculus Quest 2 was a huge success, increasing the company's non-ad-based revenue up by 156%, and that the Quest 2 is on track to become the first mainstream VR headset. Mark also stated, "We're continuing to work on new hardware as well. The new hardware will fit the same platform, so the content that works on Quest 2 should be forward compatible, so that we're going to build one larger install base around the virtual reality headset that we have." So the question becomes, what can we expect in the hardware department from Facebook? Are we going to get a new Quest every single year? And how long should we expect a platform to be supported? There is no advantage to a $300 mainstream headset if you have to buy a new one every 2 years. Now, console releases have stretched out to 8 years, with a minor hardware refresh somewhere in the middle of that timeline. Due to the nature of mobile hardware, I'm expecting to see this cut in half for virtual reality headsets. So the Quest should last about 4 years. So what exactly should we expect out of a Quest 3? Well, there's two distinct directions Facebook could go in. They could continue to push the mainstream angle, developing the absolutely most affordable headset. 75% of Quest 2 units sold were the cheaper 64GB version, so this just reiterates how important the price tag is to the overall sales. But the Quest 2 already makes some pretty big compromises, and I honestly don't know what they could possibly remove to bring the price tag down even more. I'm more expecting Facebook will take the console route and give us a slightly more powerful version in between major new releases. A Quest Pro, as I'd like to call it, targets a specific user that might currently be snubbing this product. There are VR gamers who still look at the Oculus Quest like a cell phone strapped to the front of your face. A Pro version could be an opportunity to prove these players wrong, or it's just another toy for some big spenders. Facebook absolutely has the entry level covered at this point. A higher end version can create a broader appeal. So what features would we expect in a higher end version? Well, if they went all out, you can expect a better built version of the Oculus Quest 2, which automatically included the Elite battery strap, used higher end materials, had an updated LCD screen, and even a Snapdragon 888 processor. Now this would obviously skyrocket the price, but the $1,000 Valve Index has been in non-stop demand since it released nearly 2 years ago. Now if this Pro version also included a DisplayPort, it could actually be a competitor to the Valve Index. If the DisplayPort connection confuses you, give me a second to explain. The Oculus Quest currently connects to a computer via a USB cable. This leads to increased latency and video compression. So you'll never get the best latency or visual quality over USB or on a wireless interface. And this does actually matter to a lot of gamers. This is a potential strategy for Oculus to cut into the PC VR market even more without having to do much. As a owner of 9 VR headsets, I currently only recommend 2, and that's the Oculus Quest and the Valve Index. A Quest Pro could have them covering both the low end and high end of the market, but who's to say if Facebook will take that route? John Carmack did previously state that developers should avoid setting their games from running at the maximum available hertz in case their headsets ever ran at 120. Now, the original speculation around this statement was that the Oculus Quest may be capable of 120 hertz, but it's much more likely this was in reference to newer headsets. So who knows, guys, the next Quest might actually be a Valve Index competitor, or it might be another curveball like the Oculus Quest 2 was. But for now, I'm not expecting to hear anything new about hardware until we approach the next Oculus Connect event. Okay everybody, that was today's new VR news. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I'll see you guys on next time.